Hello and welcome to Bucket List, a hopefully continuing video series where I play and finally beat games that I, for whatever reason, sometimes time constraints, more often laziness, have never finished and in some cases never even played. I thought for the first game for this series I thought I might take a crack at is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. A game that everyone considers one of the best games for the Super Nintendo. Some people consider one of the best games of all time. So I never had a Super Nintendo as a youngster. I was a Mega Drive kid. Like most people my age in the UK at the time, I was a Mega Drive kid. I was a Sega kid. Europe around the late 80s, early 90s was very much Sega and Commodore dominated. Nintendo didn't have a huge presence in Europe around that time. Their main concern for the Western market at that point was America. They were mostly concerned with just America, and while they did put their stuff out in Europe for people to buy, they never really spent a lot of money on marketing in Europe. They didn't really... You wouldn't see Nintendo putting out like a concerted marketing effort in Europe until like the mid-90s, you know. So for pretty much almost the entire 8 and 16-bit era, let's say 85 to 95, that 10-year chunk, you know, Sega was pretty much almost unopposed in Europe. So as a result, most people didn't have Super Nintendos. They were around, you could find them, it's not like they were rare. If you wanted a Super Nintendo, you could walk into a shop and buy one. It wasn't like, you know, they weren't around. But as a result, I never had one. I never even knew what one was. I never even knew what a Super Nintendo was until like the early 2000s. So get that. That's fucking nuts. Let's think. And I never even played a Super Nintendo game until, let's say, 2003, 2004, let's say, is when I played my first Super Nintendo game. So yeah, I'm obviously, you know, any Americans watching this will probably be just got, you know, mouth wide open, like thinking, how the fuck does that happen? And it turns out, if you're growing up in Europe in the early 90s, turns out that's quite easy to happen. It happens quite easily. It's just Nintendo just wasn't as pervasive and ubiquitous in Europe at the time as, say, Sega was, or even Commodore, you know. They just weren't willing to spend as much money on marketing in Europe as their competitors were at the time, and that resulted in most people not buying their thing. Nintendo wasn't really, I would say, super, I don't know, their first, I would say, genuinely popular product they put out in Europe was the Game Boy. For a very long time, they were known as the company that made the Game Boy. Not the company that made the Super Nintendo. They were the company that made the Game Boy. Also, I guess they have a console, but who knows about that. They were pretty much that company. Yeah. So, I remember seeing footage for stuff like A Link to the Past and Super Mario World in a branch of W.H. Smith, which was a sort of newsagents where, you know, you can go and buy stationery or magazines or book, you know, a small selection of books. It's that kind of shop, like a stationery shop that sell magazines. And they had a very small games section that consisted of an entire shelving unit of Mega Drive and a couple shelves of Super Nintendo. And I remember they had a CRT television hanging from the ceiling that would show footage of some of the games that were available to buy. And I remember very young, I must have been about 4 or even 5 at the time, looking up at this television while my mum was doing shopping, whatever, and just seeing footage of what now I recognise was Super Mario World, and thinking, like, that looks a bit like that game I've got for the Game Boy, but more colourful. And literally thinking that, because at the time I would have had a Game Boy and a copy of Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, which I loved, but didn't realise that there were, you know, there were console versions of Mario games. It just didn't occur to me at that age. So, yeah. Pretty much, I'm rambling now. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, so the Super Nintendo was very much an unknown thing to me at the time. I think I encountered a guy at secondary school who had one in the late 90s. I didn't recognise... All I knew is that, oh, he's got something that's like a Mega Drive, but it's grey and it plays Mario. That's... It wasn't secondary school, it was primary school. I would have been 8 or 9, possibly. And I went round his house once, and he was a huge dick. He didn't let me play it, so that pretty much poisoned the idea in my mind for a few years. So yeah, I didn't finally acknowledge what a Super Nintendo was until like 2001, 2002. And by that point I was busy playing PlayStation 1 games and Dreamcast games, so I didn't have the time nor the money to really even think about like buying and playing Super Nintendo games. I was too busy playing Sonic Adventure, man, to care about that at the time. So I ended up buying this Super Nintendo that I've got next to me in about, let's say, 2007, 2008. So I've had this for about 10 years, let's say. And I'm super happy with it. It turns out that a lot of Super Nintendo games are still fun to play today. And it's not nostalgia, because I have no nostalgia for Super Nintendo games. Like I said, I didn't play Super Nintendo games when I was younger. Fuck, I didn't even know the Super Nintendo existed when I was young. And there's some shit on here that I really like. And one of those is Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I have never finished this game. This game here. As far as I've got, I think I got to the start of the 4th dungeon. And that's as far as I ever got. And at some point I stopped playing. Something must have come up time-wise. Might have been too busy with college. Too busy going out drinking, that sort of thing. Playing more modern games that came out. It's like, oh, I could go back and continue playing this old game, or I could play this brand new one that I've just bought. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's just... The time never was really on my side. And by the time I did find myself wanting to go back, I'd sort of forgotten what it was I was doing. I'm like, oh shit, where is this place? What do these items do? How do I play? How do I deal with certain enemies? All of that had just left my mind. So I kind of want to go back and finish it. So this is not necessarily a blind run. until I get to a certain point in the game. Then it will be, but let's say the first third to first half of the game is semi-blind. Because while I did get that far, I don't remember that much. So I'm going to just plug in the power. Plug in AV. Okay. Alright, it's in. I booted this game up yesterday and had a quick, like, half an hour play around to make sure, it all works properly, because, you know, the system's getting old. It's not the most reliable piece of hardware now. Sometimes it just refuses to turn on, and I find that if I unplug the power supply, leave it for half an hour, then plug it back in and hit the power, it will come back on. So occasionally the system refuses to turn on. Who knows? Fingers crossed it works. I don't know if that's a problem with the console itself or with the power supply. It might just be the power supply. Here's hoping. So if I hit this, and fingers crossed, I hit this big old switch on top. Success! So, again, since we're using an original cartridge, this cartridge contains a save battery that at this point is what? More than, oh god, yeah, 25 years old? Maybe more? And so far it seems to work. So far when I save my save file it works. But there is a chance the save battery might die playing this. So a lot of things could go wrong. We've got some story now. Seven wise men. For those interested, the system is connected to the Magewell via S-Video, which is the best you can do without modding the hardware. I think you can mod in an RGB connection, but I'm not really into the whole modding of hardware. Some people might ask, why bother plugging in original hardware at all? Why not just emulate it? Or, you know, if you don't want to use an illegal emulator, just buy it on one of Nintendo's downloadable services and play it that way. And it's people who've watched my videos for a while now may be aware of my desire to try and avoid emulation at all costs. If it can't be avoided, I will emulate. Hence, with the during the PlayStation 1 videos, occasionally I pulled out the PS3 to play some PS1 games I've downloaded, because buying a physical copy would have been more money than I considered worth it. So, and I'm thinking, as long as this version of the game, as long as this version of the game works, and I've got an original cartridge and it works, why not? Right? Why not use this? Sure, the visual quality might be a little bit blurry compared to direct capture from an emulator, but you can still see what the text says, you can still see what things are, you can still tell that that's a fairy on the screen right now. So let's do it legitimately. You know? And I think there's a certain level of enjoyment to be had when using original hardware that is absent when using an emulator. I don't know, I can't put it into words, but there is something. There's something about using original hardware which adds to the experience, and I can't quite put it into words. If I play a game on an emulator, I usually lose interest very quickly. Like, I might play it for about 20-25 minutes and I'll just think, nah, I'm done with this. Whereas there's something about, for me at least, playing a game on original hardware that keeps my interest for far longer than it would if it was just, you know... Oh shit, no, I'm not... Than it would if it was just playing it off a PC or whatever. And I should really be paying attention to what I'm writing because I am... There we go. End. Sweet. Let's start a new game. So I am since this is a PAL Super Nintendo, it is outputting the game at 50 Hz, and the Mage Well is interpreting the signal as 576i. So the Mage Well is showing us an interlaced signal, so there might be a little bit of motion blur around some of the sprites as we play, as stuff moves. It's mostly okay, but it can get a bit messy at points. Do some exploring. Those guards are like, go home. Alright. Just wanted to see how strict the game was at pointing you towards the castle. Try down here. So yeah, you press the X button on the controller, it brings up the map. Get this cool Mode 7 map. Kind of a rough idea where stuff is. Press it again for a full overview. So we want to head towards the glowing red cross. Fuck your sign. I'm going to adjust the sound a little bit. Occasionally you get a reminder just in case you forget where you're supposed to be going. You can pick up stuff and throw it by walking into it and pressing the A button. And A again to throw it. Oh gee, I wonder which bush is hiding the hole. Can you tell which one is hiding the hole? Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. How about this one? No. Oh wait, I know. It's this one. I guess not. Oh look, it's the one that's clearly marked by cobblestones. Oh no! Oh, fuck off Zelda, I'm here! Stop nagging me, oh my god. Zelda is my what? My what? Talk to me. Wake up, old man. Wake up. Wake up. Fine. So we've got our sword. So it's B button to swipe the sword. Like that. Super simple. Or you can hold down the B button to charge the sword, which lets you strafe, which is useful for taking out certain types of enemies. And when you finally release B button, you do a little power swing. Little green bottles like this refill your magic meter. You can see in the top left. Magic meter is used for certain items, like your lantern, which is our first secondary item that we picked up back in the house. It's the Y button to use secondary items. So, but every time you use a secondary item that uses the magic, your magic meter depletes. So, got to keep an eye on it. And you can use your lantern to light certain things in the environment on fire, like this torch, for example. That adds light to the immediate area. Don't mind me, buddy, I'm just mowing the grass. Looking for money. Hello. Whoop, run away. Most guards at the moment won't chase you, just the ones with extra large swords will chase after you. These guys will just kind of wander around randomly until they accidentally bump into you. Like that guy over there on the left, he's got a much bigger sword, so he's going to come after us. But he's not that difficult to deal with. Okay, fine. Really want one of these guys to drop some health. You can see your health bar in the top right corner there. It's depicted by those 3 hearts. He dropped a heart. Nice. Fuck. Ooh. The hitboxes for the enemies sometimes aren't as clear as maybe I wish they were. Like right there, when that guy walked past me, I feel like he should have hit me and hurt me, but he didn't. Which I'm grateful for, but sometimes makes the enemy encounters a little bit unpredictable. This guy here. This guy's blue, so he's got more hit points than the regular green knights. Alright, so this is like the last, or one of the last knights who still hasn't been affected by the wizard's magic. Because the wizard is, what's the name of the wizard? It's Aghanim? Aghanim is the name of the wizard, I think. Because that's how you pronounce it, I think. Pretty sure it's Aghanim. Trying to set him on fire. Nope, doesn't work. Need to stop wasting magic. I'm gonna need it. Maybe these guys will drop some magic. Nope. There was a door back here that I didn't check at the time. I want to check it. It was... this one. Alright, okay, at least at the same places. Alright, so that's linked. Okay. You can at any point enter your inventory by pressing the start button. Is it start or start button? But right now we haven't really got any different equipment to equip. We're still with our starting equipment, so it doesn't really do anything. Pressing the select button brings up the save screen, but we don't need a save just yet. And just like outside, pressing the X button brings up our map screen. Quite useful. Alright, that guy dropped a key. And we've got a complete dungeon map. So now if we press X again, we'll see that our entire map is filled out for us. That's super helpful. Suck it! Whoops. Come on, buddy. I want more magic, not health. I've got plenty of health. I want magic. Right. Okay. Sometimes when you enter a room, you get locked in the room until you've defeated every single enemy in the room. Like just then. Come on, buddy. And we've got our first new item, the boomerang, which is super useful. So we select the boomerang. We can throw that with the Y button. The boomerang doesn't do much damage at all. In fact, it does very, very little damage. But it does stun enemies, or it can stun enemies. Not all enemies are susceptible to being stunned by the boomerang, but most lower level enemies are. And some bosses, so. It's also good for hitting switches that are too far for you to reach. Also, the boomerang does not use magic, so you can use it as much as you want. I think there is an upgraded version of the boomerang that does use magic, but I don't remember. Nope. Nope, that's all. Oh shit, okay, we've got a mace dude. This guy's got a lot of health and he's got a new weapon. He swings his mace around, which can be a problem. But we take our time, stun him, and then hit him. Bang. Like this. Excuse me, princess. Money comes first. Not at all, but let's just go with it. Alright, so now we have the Princess Zelda. That's it, right? It's the end of the game. We've rescued Princess Zelda. Game over. Roll credits. Let's try taking the high road. Suck it. Couldn't resist. Alright. So we need to go to the main entrance room of the castle, I believe. So these guys just kind of wander aimlessly, they don't really chase you. It makes them slightly annoying to deal with because their movements are random. There's no, like... I guess you can kind of see what direction they're going to go, because their head will turn to face a direction, and then they end up walking in that direction, so you can sort of tell what they're going to do if you pay attention, I guess. Alright, let's go. Whoop. Alright. What's around here? We got anything worth grabbing around here? Nope, nothing. Right. Secret passage time. And now we've got this little section where we're in total darkness and all we've got is a little splash of light. We've got rats. We've got rats. Alright. If we re-equip the lamp and use it on this torch, it will temporarily light up the surrounding area. It only lasts for about 20 seconds or so, and each subsequent torch you light increases the amount of light in the area. I'll give you a rough indication of how long you've got. See, we just lost our first level of light. We can get that back. I want to kill these rats because they've got money. And we're going to need money later. Where did it go? Oh, he's got no money. Oh well. We've got snakes. Why does Hyrule Castle have a snake pit? For what possible reason would they have a horde of poisonous snakes? What kind of king is ruling over this land? Jesus. Yeah, the snakes are also kind of random in their movements, so they're a little tough to predict. Little bat, or a Kessie, as they're known in this series. Motherfucker. Sort of flying circles. That was close. Alright. Very close to Sanctuary. Let's be careful. The localization in this game is not perfect. It should be very close to the Sanctuary, not to Sanctuary. It's not a pronoun. The Sanctuary, by the way, is a church. Even Nintendo was prone to the odd clumsy translation back in the day. Oh, motherfucking rats! Come on. Come on then. Have some. You can hit enemies with pots, which is useful. Fuck. Missed. Come on, bat. Nope. Okay. Alright, there's the key. I think we're almost there, actually, if I remember correctly. Alright, we've got more rats. I think we're out of the darkness now. Stuff is starting to look a lot brighter, and that wall right there on the left side of the screen is very obviously a bombable wall. Very obviously. Come on. We can grab some money. It's worth it for us. And right there's another bombable wall. So... Alright, and we're out. Fuck that rat. Yep, 5. Okay, check these. Pull the switch. Now I know one of these switches is a trap and one of them is correct. I'm going to intentionally pull the trap switch first just so you can see what that is. That's the trap. And you get a bunch of snakes. Fuck off, snake. Yeah, I know. Chill out, lady. Can you not see me fighting these snakes? Fuck. Okay. hammer out. Alright, we've marked our map. Princess Zelda's going to hide here. Do you understand? Not at all, old man. Listen, my dad's dead. Some girl is telling me what to do, and now you're telling me I've got a great quest? This is fucked. But whatever. I'm just going to pretend I understand what you're saying. Also, can I have what's in this box? Thanks. Alright. Let's go have a look. Now, before we do that, I'm going to go grab a couple of heart pieces, because I remember where some of them are. Because I've played the first couple hours of this game multiple times. So, there are certain stuff I do remember. So... come on, buddy. Yeah, the game treats the soldiers and the soldier's sword as separate hitboxes. You have to hit the soldier, not his sword. If you hit his sword, it just kind of like clashes off the sword and pushes him back a little bit. Oh, Jesus. Like that. Try and angle yourself slightly towards his shield side, not his sword side. I'm going to switch back to the boomerang. Oh, Jesus! Yeah. Sometimes, for whatever reason, there are soldiers hiding in the grass. That'll do, I think. Alright, well, I think we've got to go up here, I think. I'm looking for a stump with a hole in it. If I remember correctly. It's called fog effect. Ah, that's the one I want. Mm-hmm. That's a very random thing for you to tell me. What makes you think I care? Oh, okay, so we need to get up there. It's just, is there a hole further north that we can fall down? Let's check this grass. Aha! Right, done. He's gonna tell me about his brother in the desert again. Just ignore him. Let's leave. Okay. Yeah, there are thieves in the Lost Woods that will just straight up steal your shit if you let them. They'll steal arrows, bombs, and money. They'll just kind of bump into you and take your stuff. That's not cool. Oh, Oh, these guys have respawned. Yeah, they're not too difficult. Oh, Jesus. Fuck. Yeah, sometimes there are bombs hidden in the grass as well, which is surprising. Let's talk to this weirdo. I'll make it cheap. You will find the Elder Sahasrahla. Hang on. Sahasrahla, I'm guessing. No, too many H's in that word. I'll take 30 rupees. That was not... Fuck the thieves in the forest. You're the biggest thief around here. Christ. Okay. There's a chicken. Alright. So this is Kakariko village. I think there's a thing at the far left. Yeah, here it is. Okay, if I fall down here, pretty sure there's a... Okay. Nice. We got bombs. We got money. More money. Even more money. So much money. We're rich. And before we go though, you see how some of the rocks in this wall here seem to have a slightly dark outline around them. This is a bombable wall. This is actually one of the less obvious examples of a bombable wall. It's not like... Some bombable walls in this game are super obvious. There's big old thick cracks all the way across the wall and it's super obvious. This is not as obvious. You've got to kind of look at this for a couple of seconds to realise what it is. But if I place a bomb... We've got another chest. And more money. And health. Great, we now have 2 pieces of heart. Excellent. Just like most other Zelda games, collect 4 quarters of a heart and it will extend your life meter by 1 whole heart. And boom. Just like that. Now I think we head back here into this green building. We find this dude who's like, hey! He says, yo! Blind was the name of their leader. Blind, I believe, does show up at some point later in the game. He's kind of a semi-important character. I think you fight him. I think he might be a boss. I don't... I don't think I ever fought him. I think it's just something I remember reading at one point. So, puzzle room. The secret is you can move every single one of these blocks in the direction of an empty space. However, you can only move each block just the once. Only once. So, if we think. Yep. Oh my goodness, we're at nearly 240 rupees. We are so wealthy right now. And before we go, you can see there's another big crack in the north wall of this room. So... even more money. Oh my goodness. And another chunk of heart. Alright. What's in this building? Not a whole lot, but this old woman. The Hylia, or the Hylia, however you want to pronounce that. Not at all, but I'm going to believe whatever you say. Okay. I like the little drawing of me they've got on this sign. Call a soldier if you see him. They drew my nose bigger than it actually is. My nose is at least 3 pixels shorter than it's depicted on this sign. How rude. Fuck your sign. So, according to the old woman, there should be somebody in town who knows where to find the old man. We need to go and see. Because he's not in his house. Hey look, there's a picture of Mario on the north wall of this room. That's a neat little Easter egg. Oh shit. So yeah, talking to some of the people in the town will result in them calling soldiers to attack you. Or one soldier to attack you. Weathercock. ₹100 for an empty glass bottle, eh? I'll take one. It's a magic bottle. You can store an item inside and use it later. I don't think you necessarily need a magic bottle to be able to do that. Something tells me good old regular bottles are almost as good at storing things inside. Hello. Random chicken. Oh shit. Another one. How exciting. shit, we've got bees. We've got bugs. Fuck off, bug. You can get a bug net, I believe. There's an item that allows you to catch insects, and you can sell them to certain people in the game for rupees. Okay. Where else? How about you? Whoops, sorry. Oh, thank you. At least someone does. Why is your house full of chickens? Do you have any idea how filthy chickens are? Disgusting. Hey, buddy. Or not. What's that guy's problem? He always runs away from you. Yeah, this dude is in bed. Here we go. We got the bug catching net I mentioned a little bit earlier. Nice. And you've got another picture of Mario on the north wall. Alright, what's this? Oh, this is a fucking messy house. We're almost back up to 200 rupees. Okay. Hey, buddy. A lake swimming with Zoras. Huh. Oh, it's the same sign. Fuck your sign. Draw my face properly. Okay, yes, this is a side quest in this game. There is a flute player, or rather the ghost of a flute player who hangs out in the woods somewhere, and you can free his spirit. Well, I don't remember how that's done. Dirty old man. Oh, it looks like there's a chest up there. Okay. There is a way in through the back here. Aha! Another chicken in a pot. This town. Another my second magic bottle. I think there's 4 of these things to get in the game. So you can store all sorts of things. You can store potions, you can store water, you can store bugs, you can store fairies. Just certain types of item in the game require storage in a bottle. I would like some more bombs. Okay, that'll do for now. You can only hold 10 bombs, so... Okay, I think this is the guy. Are you talking about the grandpa? Okay, either that should have been, are you talking about my grandpa or the old man? Either of those would have been fine, not the grandpa. Thank you very much. So, I think we've got an updated waypoint now. Yeah, there it is. It's on the eastern side of the map. In the Middle East. We could call it. Let's check some shit. Oh, hey look, a free bomb. Can't use boomerangs to mow grass. That would be so cool if you could. Just mow an entire line of grass with a boomerang. But alas, you can't. I think that's right now everything we can do in Kakariko. I think. What's this? What's down here? Oh, this is the race. Yes, this is the race. There's a race. Shall we do the race before we go? Or is it a race or... No, it's not a race. It's a... This is a post office. I think the race is further south. There's a book up here, but I can't get it. I think... I think I know how to get that book, but I don't have the item required to get it. We'll come back later. Oh, what's that? That looks like a bombable wall to me. I sealed the door to his room. What? I can understand locking it, but sealing it. Fuck, man, you're kind of an asshole. Yes, he's still very angry. So angry he sealed your room. Reach the goal within 15 seconds, we will give you something good. I forget the route. I'm guessing. Oh shit. Oh fuck. I think I've run out of time. No, not enough time. No time. No time. Fuck. Well, maybe now that I throw that fucking sign away and I talk to the girl again. Oh, you can't, can you? They're not going to let you talk to her. Okay. At least you don't have to pay for it, I guess. Oh, shit, I can't lift that up. I'm not even sure it's possible to do this without certain items. And you can't pull the sign out from this angle. Yeah. Oh well. I'll have to come back later, I guess. Once we get some certain stuff. Check this house. What is in this house? Ooh, some stuff. Gambling. Nice. Let's do it. I'm liking the one on the right. Shit. Is it randomised? I bet it's randomised. Fuck. It is. Alright, let's go on the left. Fucking result. There we go. Quit while we're ahead. Another sword guy. Hey guy. Fuck. I can't get to the on his left. At least he dropped some health. Ah, this is the flute player I mentioned earlier. The problem is, we get close to him, he disappears. Yeah. And there is a thing that we can do with him, but I don't remember what it was at all. I don't even have an inkling. Come on. One more time. There we go. What is our map? Alright, we're coming back up in our house, I think. The house we started the game in. Useless. Cock! Christ. This side. Alright. I think we'll call it for the first video. Like I said, I hope this is a series that will keep going. I hope I will eventually finish this game. So I'm probably going to record several parts first before starting to upload this video. So by the time you see this video, I would have probably already got the first 4 or 5 videos recorded in the bin done. Yeah. I hope you're going to stick around and watch me finally play through this classic game. And I shall see you next time. Goodbye.